Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to another gripping edition of the Arena on Aneke TV. I am Gambling-Aneke, and today we delve into the heart of Nigeria's political landscape. Today we'll be dissecting the latest tremors and the shifts that are shaping our nation's future. As we all know, for weeks now, the air has been very thick with speculations hushed meetings, and of course strategic maneuvers. And now the dust is beginning to settle, revealing what many are calling a game changer in Nigerian politics. And this is the emergence of a new coalition party. So we shine our spotlight today on African Democratic Party, the ADC, and its newfound prominence. To help us unpack the implications of this significant development, we have in the studio with us a distinguished voice in Nigeria, in Nigerian political commentary, a seasoned analyst. When I say a seasoned analyst, this man is a lecturer at the Enugu State Polytechnic, Iwolo, and he's also a former state director of the National Orientation Agency. And with me in the studio is Dr. Austin Okoli. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me, and welcome, viewers.
Yeah, it's actually good to have you joining us on the arena today. Okay, so let's move over to the discussions we have for today. I'll go with the first question. You know, the news is rife with reports like of a broad opposition coalition formally adopting the ADC and its platform for the 2027 general elections. And we are seeing names like big names. That's the former Senate President, that's David Mark. We have the former Governor, Rauf Aregbesola, I pronounce that correctly, and even key figures from the PDP and other parties aligning with this new structure. So my question is, what is your initial assessment of this development?
Well, thank you so much for having me. A very interesting question. I think your question means, what do I see?
Exactly.
Well, what I see is a major coalition, a major people coming together, to form a formidable platform, a political party that is capable of dislodging this ruling party and the president. They are dissatisfied, like Nigerians, of what is going on, the threat to democracy. And you mentioned very few governors. I can see a lot of governors, both from PDP and APC. Well, if you ask me like you did, I want to say that what they are seeing today, this evening, is what Ibrahim Babangida saw in 1997, 98, and so on, when he was in power from 1990, I think it's from 1990 till he left in 1993, where he created two political parties after, allowing people to do proper research. What does Nigeria need? What platform? What kind of party structure do they need? And the report was that Nigeria needs a two-party system. A two-party might have others, like we want a multi-dimensional political parties in democracy, cannot limit, but to have two major political parties. I think they are aligning to that vision, NRC and SDP then. And if you look today, you can see that they have tried. More than 90 people are waiting to be registered, but some of them just register for the purpose of providing what they call vehicles, the one that people can come and ride, okay, and get something in exchange. So today, we see, initially they went for SDP. They also tried to register as ADA, and there's roadblocks everywhere. So finally, there is not any absence of roadblock in the ADC, but I think it is, from their own perspective, surmountable, because the fear of extinguishing democracy, the fear of running a one-party state, was very, very glaring. everybody was afraid, everybody was wary, because in a single party system, that breeds a dictatorship, that brings about anti-democratic features like we are seeing now, whereby somebody is in charge, like chairman and CEO of a company, directing staff and directing everybody, like an owner. So they may not hold annual general meeting, they may not hold congresses, they may not, just you are the only person. And that's what we see in China, that's what we see in Putin's Russia. So, and proper democracies do not align with that. So Nigerians who wants to become proper democratic country and want to provide proper democratic space needs opposition.
Okay.
The major ingredients in opposition in a democracy is opposition.
Okay.
People who say no, even though this is not a parliamentary system, we are running a presidential system, our own homegrown, because America's democratic system is different,
Okay.
just slight difference. Also in Australia, there's a slight difference. And there's some other countries that are running, like in France, they have president, they have prime minister. But to have a totally presidential system to accommodate the diversity of the country, to also help, sustain democracy. So that fear, because those in APC are also leaving. I can see Rotimi Amechi leaving. I can also see former governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai, leaving. In fact, one of the conveners. I can also see so many other people. And then PDP, majority of the PDP, like they say, it is Atiku-driven coalition.
Okay.
So Atiku is there. I can also see Peter Obi. Peter Obi was in Apuga. Now, Atiku picked him in 2019 as his running mate.
Okay.
They did not succeed. Then Obi ran again under Labour in 2023.
Okay.
He could not get it. So Obi wants to run Labour, but that same obstacle I mentioned earlier was put in the way of a Labour Party. So, for the first time, we are seeing a thoroughbred politician at the helm of affairs. I cannot call Obasanjo a politician. I cannot call Muhammad Buhari a politician.
Okay.
Jonathan came by accident. So you can see how the past leaders at the helm of our presidency, how they came. For the first time, what I observe, I think what I'm saying is what I observe, what I see from my observatory, is that this man is also a man who has bided his time. During his campaign, he called, "This is my time. It is my turn," because he was able to sponsor the National Security Advisor, the former chairman of EFCC, Ribadu. He contested. After Atiku Abubakar also contested, under his support, under his structure, they started with AD, then AC to ACN, ACN now to APC. So he was the man, the shadow behind all those. So after Atiku Abubakar, even he now called Muhammad Buhari, he told us that Muhammad Buhari was crying and said he's not going to contest again. And he persuaded him. They had a handshake across the Benue River, not across the Niger this time around. So, and it brought Muhammad Buhari to power, and for first and second tenure. So this time around, he said, Emiloko, it is my turn. So people should support me. It is my turn to become president. And whatever they brought against him did not, bring fruits. So he succeeded. He became president. And now, remember, that APC was like a coat of many colors.
Yes.
They had a new PDP, some renegades from PDP, some governors, some even the Senate president, they left to form APC. Now, some splinter particles from Apuga also came. Some people from CPC, that is Babangeda's party, Buhari's party. I don't know why I want to say Buhari, I'll say Babangeda, maybe because they are military people. Now, and APP, so they came together and formed, including the ACN. That so PDP, we are now saying that these are coat of many colors, strange bedfellows, and they are not going to succeed. Some people are decamping as they are decamping then, and PDP felt so comfortable and confident that they are going to win. but they didn't win. Jonathan was the presidential candidate of PDP then. He lost even before the result was announced. He congratulated Muhammadu Buhari. And that was the trajectory that brought this APC to this pass. So they are also boasting that PDP, they are going to stay till eternity. But what worried Nigeria is the quality of the governance. What also worried Nigerians is the tendency and threatening to the gravitation to a single party, which you know that does not promote a democracy. And most of the people who now see that they don't want that, they are now coming together. There is a kind of alignment and the realignment. Some PDP going to APC, some APC coming to. So I want to say that what I'm seeing is work in progress. I want to say that they have not concluded, like you said, the dust are now settling.
Yes.
It is settling, but they have not finished settling. I want to see a situation whereby maybe by this time next year, it was the sediments will crystallize. They will become stronger. We will now be able to define. While we were talking before we entered the studio, somebody was asking, what about those who still belong to their old parties? I know that elections, you have election season, election cycle. There's also off-season election, like what is going to come up in November in Anambra. So some people have already signed and supported and have their cards with their previous parties. So they want just in the jiffy, in the jump vote now. So I think that is their reason for staying behind. Even the convener, has not resigned from APC. And the FCT municipal election is also coming up. So you cannot just abandon everything because you want to form a new party. I think that will excuse for their delay. But we shall also see when they now begin to talk about who is going to be the flag bearer. And that is why, because if you don't agree, you disagree. And if you disagree, you take a decision. So because there is no kind of ideology so far, we feel that ADC and APC, they will now begin to tell us this is a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the center. That is what Nigeria want to see, so that when they are supporting you, they will know that so and so things are going to be guaranteed.
All right. So the next question I'll be asking is based on this new coalition, we mentioned older faces, past governors and past senators. So do you think this is actually a genuine force? Are they doing this genuinely, or it's more like a realignment of the old faces coming together to just do what they have been doing?
Well, in a chemical reaction, let me come from the perspective of chemistry. In a chemical reaction, it takes, both those who align and those who do not align. It is the old that will show way to the young. And in Nigerian politics, it's largely prebendal, and money is involved. Those who are now, like when you are making a basket, you make the basic ones, so you now know whether it is going to give you the small basket or a large basket. So that is the stage they are now. Of course, they know that the youths have more than 60% of the population, so they are going to drive it, but they have to show the way. They have to create an enablement. They have to create a framework onto which the women, the youths, the challenged, and everybody will now come, because politics is numbers. Have democracy, you also have nearby a demography. So they won't form and just win and remove some, but they have to, that's what I'm expecting. They have to form, design a framework, decide their ideology, decide their code of conduct, so that those who want this type of behavior can come, they are welcome. Unlike APC that said that, come to our party, and even if you are a sinner, if you come here, your sins will be forgiven. So the important thing this time, Nigerians want to watch. The critical ingredient there is whether the votes are going to count. Because all these governors jumping up and down is because in the past, sometimes they write the results. That is why they will tell you that they will not declare the results at the polling units. They will go to the rack. That is, they go to local government, the work collation officers, and so on. And they mutilate and change what people have decided. That was why there was a kind of rancorous judicial, challenge people thought that what INEC promised was that the elections would be declared at the polling units. That's the most critical, joint. So that when they do that, they will now forward it online to the center. So that whatever they are doing in the manual collation will be compared pari passu with whatever they forward. But they failed to forward, so there was nothing to compare. They now declared the result, and there was legal challenge. Of course, you know that our judiciary is not so stable. They are not so. Nobody has so much confidence in them. Well, it is unfortunate because they could have been a defining moment. You can see what happened in America. In America, we have more criminals in America. We have more election riggers. Like Trump was saying, they rigged my election, they took my votes, they didn't win. But the courts, the judicial aspect, was able to put everybody in place. You see, that is why, whether it is corruption, whether it is election, we still call for reform in the judicial sector.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Austin Korieh. We'll go on a short break now. Stay tuned in to the Arena on Aneke TV. My name is Amaka Nichi. We'll be right back. Back to the Arena on Aneke TV, and with us is Dr. Austin Korieh. So moving on, we're still discussing the political situation going on in the country based on the new formed ADC party. So, Doctor, we've talked about you've told us your initial assessment of this new development and everything that has to do with it. Now the next question is the fact that based on the new coalition, there's been an internal friction in that particular party, and this is from Mr. Dumepi Kachiku, who was the presidential flag bearer of the ADC in 2023. So my question is, do you think this friction going on would derail the ambitions of this newly formed alliance?
Well, thank you. You corrected yourself. You are saying that the new ADC was there as a registered political party.
Yeah.
Remember, from what we see, we read, and from what we glean from the social media,
yes,
we knew that ADC was there. Dumepi Kachiku, like you mentioned, also contested in 2023 presidential election under the party. Remember, there's no individual or zero-party system where individuals can contest. They have to have a platform. Well, what I see is that these people, some people call them disgruntled elements, some people see them as those who are dissatisfied with the trends and movement of our democracy. People are, also refer to them as people who are concerned with the governance, what we have seen within the first 2 years. And when Malam El-Rufai, kick-started as the first convener who started speaking against APC, he was one of the also conveners of APC. He was his name was submitted for ministerial position, and controversially, he was dropped on security, issues. Now he left there, and he's also having issues with his governor, whom he sponsored in Kaduna State. So Malam El-Rufai, we all know him, but the challenge is that he belongs to the category of people who says they are not happy with no congresses, no meetings, no party activity, no rallies, after 2 years. And they can see that the CPC components of that APC were sidelined. So he went to his, the man he described as his Oga, to Muhammad Buhari, to tell him, Oga, we are leaving. These people have decided to sideline us. And according to him, Muhammad Buhari permitted him. And even when the APC went to, Buhari said he cannot stop anybody who wants that. It's a democratic choice. He won't stop anyone who wants to leave. But he is still a member. So, coming from that point of view, the APC, the people who came to ADC, came to join. Well, there is no political party activity, and democracy is not devoid of disagreement. Where 2 or 3 persons come together, you have differentials in interest. The problem is that there must be interests. When their interests coalesce, they work together. When they have disagreement, they disagree. But the party have to provide the enabling framework, the legal framework that will put everybody into line. So it is their party, their constitution, and their modus operandi, the way, the code of conduct for the party that will bring everybody into line. And that was why I tried to compare Nigeria and America. That in America, no matter how bad or good you are, the law is the defining factor. Well, so when they now came, initially they went to SDP. SDP raised the bar. They left SDP. They wanted to register their own party, ADA. You see that in Nigeria now, like we are just a developing country, the type of democracy we run is that it's not that it's good, but that is what we see. The ruling party will not want to have opposition. So, and the appointment of chairman of INEC and the people who pay INEC are the ruling party. So they are under their control. So they saw that it could be a trap to want to depend and wait until when they are registered. Meanwhile, there are some 90 other political parties or people who are intending to register that are waiting. So they might enter the trap and continue to wait until eternity. So they now decided to look around to see which party that their behavior, their constitution, their ideology aligns with theirs. So they now found ADC. So when they entered there, remember the first protest in SDP was the former presidential candidate. You see, they know that when these big wigs come in, he will become a little fish in a small body of water. Yeah. So they will kick. But some people just want to contest. Okay. We are talking about, are you capable of winning? Do you have all it takes? Do you have the wherewithal? Do you have the followership? And do you have the war chest? Okay. So it's not just being presidential candidate. So the man that was the chairman of APC, that was the issue they were saying, that the man's tenure has expired. But INEC still recognized him. Amin Mosu, the chairman, the interim chairman, who handed over to David Mark, because they came, there was discussions for a long time. They were even discussing with a lot of other political parties. So we are sure that there might be some local issues, but it is surmountable. And that is the reason for politicking. You have to discuss, have to judge, have to come to the table, have to dialogue. If it is so smooth, then the road is leading to nowhere. Well, I also see a situation where they maybe come up to challenge. But we also say that maybe we were expelled. Maybe was expelled according to the party, and they are still in court. Those things will be tested in the court. Those things will be, I think they still have time. Okay. I'm not speaking for ADC, but what I hear and what I see is what I'm trying to express. Right. So the important thing is that there are some bumps, there are some potholes, there are some barriers on the way, but if it is so smooth, then it will not work. So it is also going to test their administrative strength. Okay,
so it's likely to happen. Yes. Okay, so I will just take the next one. Based on this coalition and everything they have said and all their plans, all their set goals, they have actually set a target of 35 million votes by 2027. With all the big masquerades we've mentioned earlier, all the past governors and past senators who have come into the new coalition. So my question is, do you think this 35 million votes is actually achievable? Do you think this goal of achieving 35 million votes by 2027 is actually achievable?
Well, to answer that straightforward, it is achievable if they do their homework. But in Nigerian situation, there's a lot of issues about the purity of the numbers, the data they are putting out there. because INEC announced 90 million votes as registered voters. You can imagine the person who won with 8 million votes. A far cry, not even up to 10%. Not even up to 10%. Because I think it's 9 million, that will be 10% of 90 million. So not even 10% to win a country of 200 and something million people with voters data of 90 million. Okay? So, but I also presume that some people register twice, because sometimes they say people didn't pick their voters card, but they vote. And two, they are not encouraging voting. The system does not encourage people participation. They don't encourage people because, first of all, it is a party politics. There's no independent candidate. Okay. So if parties put out those, there will be no choice to make. Put out people who the people don't feel that they are worthy of wasting their time, then they don't come out. So that is what they call, people developing cold feet on the day of election. But if you put out vibrant candidates, people who will now come and go for debate, and now iron out, this is what we are going to do. This is what we are capable of doing. This is our vision. This is our mission. Within so and so time, like some people were arguing, P2B was saying, I'm going to make Nigeria stable in 2 years. I'm going to do so and so within so and so time. And people were arguing, I said, look, Murtala Mohammed came under 6 months. He achieved all he achieved within 6 months. Jim Nwobodo in Anambra State achieved all he achieved in 4 years. So a political party with vision and with plans and with, ideology and with men who are going to drive their vision, they can achieve that and even much more. Talking about 35 million votes, out of 90 million votes that are registered, if it is true, then are you saying that it is not achievable that party who can win will win well? They should win well and win, the word they use, landslide. Because if you want to beat a champion, you have to knock him out. In a boxing ring, if you are prepared to win a champion, don't hope on points, because the champion is still the champion. Yeah. So you prepare to knock him out. Yeah. So I am not in any illusion that it's going to be easy. But if they work hard and mobilize the people, sensitizing the people, do the right things, crossing their T's and dotting their I's appropriately with good manifesto, and Nigerians will buy into it because they have seen a lot of bad governance. So I think they're even underestimating what they can achieve. They can achieve much more than 35 million votes if they do the right thing. People can come out. There are people who have never voted before because of the paucity of the type of candidates they bring forward. Yeah. You see what happened when P2B came out. I'm not saying that Peter is the best, but P2B came and there was a grand swell of people. There are voter suppression in Lagos, for instance. People who they did not allow to vote. They were saying if you come out, if you are not voting for APC, you enter Lagoon. We throw you into the Tall Mainland Bridge. So some people who even came out and voted, they didn't pick their votes from there. It's not only Lagos. You understand? So, but if they have a free, freedom for people to make their choices, and people canvass for their votes, put out, put the right candidates, then there will be a choice to make. But when you put wrong candidates, people with two left legs, the people will now become apathetic to participation. So I think that if the incumbent, who people say is the master in the game, and if they bring somebody who has equal stake, somebody who is also enamored to challenge him, like I say, if you are going to be the champion, you have to prepare to knock the champion out, so that they will count three and the champion will not shake. But if you just want to go and contest for the sake of contesting, well, we shall see. It is the taste of the pudding will be in the eating.
Definitely, we shall see. And what a conversation. One thing is clear, the road to 2027 is already heating up and Nigerians are watching closely. So whether the coalition becomes a powerful force or just another fleeting alliance will depend not just on the names involved, of course, but on their ability to deliver unity, clarity, and vision. Thank you so much, Dr. Austin Okoli. It was nice having you. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Don't forget, the conversation continues on our social media platforms, all at Aneke TV. Until next time, I am your host, Amaka Neji. Stay informed and stay empowered.